Dartmoor Gunpowder Mills. I'm going to show you how to get here. There's a 7-mile option and a 2-mile option. I'll show you where to park, how to get here and what to look out for along the way. So join me for another adventure on Dartmoor. For parking, head to the Postbridge Visitor Centre car park. There is a charge for parking which can be paid contactless at the machine. Once you've paid for your car parking, head to the top left of the car park, and that's where we're starting today's hike. Once you exit the car park, take a right along this path. When I was driving here this morning, it was really misty, but it's now cleared and it's going to be another cracking day. Do you know, when I'm hiking Dartmoor or planning a nice walk like today, I'm always like a child looking forward to Christmas, and I wake up really early excited to get out for another day on Dartmoor. So I've started today's walk about 7 o'clock. It's nice and quiet, nobody about. It is a perfect day. You might have noticed that I did a similar walk to this recently. Well, after I uploaded that video, I had quite a few comments and also messages asking me if I could recreate the route with directions, etc. So I couldn't say no for another chance to walk it. From the car park, we're following this track for about half a mile. And if you look to your right, you'll see White Tor. But keep following the track for about half a mile and you'll reach a stone wall with a gate on its right hand side on the corner. And if you look to your left, there's a large rock which I usually turn left here, or westbound, up over the hill until you reach a fence or a wall. Can't remember now, it's a fence or a wall. Oh, it's a fence, I can see it. And a stile. There's 2 stiles here. The one to the right has been broken for some time, but once you reach a fence, turn to your left and there's another stile further along to cross over. Once you've crossed the stile, keep the tree line to your left. Keep following the tree line. It does bend at one point, but follow it all the way to the end and eventually you'll come to another stile. Hop over the stile, well, maybe not hop over, navigate over the stile. Once you've crossed the stile, head slightly left and you'll reach a stone wall. When you reach the wall, continue keeping the wall to your left. You will see a gate, just walk past that gate, and if it's a clear day, you'll see 2 tors ahead of you. On the right is 𝐂𝐈𝐿 Tor and the left is Longaford Tor. So we're heading to both tors, 𝐂𝐈𝐿 Tor first and then Longaford Tor. We're keeping this wall to your left all the way up to 𝐂𝐈𝐿 Tor. And at one point you notice it bends to the right into a little dip up the other side, and then just a bit further on we'll come to a burial. And I love this burial because it's not that well known. and it's literally in the middle of nowhere. Just past the bend and the dip, you'll come to another gate. Now, it depends on how bad the weather's been recently. If we've had dry weather, I'll continue this route. If the weather's been quite wet, I'll go through the gate and follow this side of the wall, keeping the wall to my right. Because later on down here, after wet weather, it can get quite boggy. If you go through the gate after bad weather, let me show you which way to go. It's slightly different. It's a clear day, so I can show you. Now, if you go through the gate, you continue with this wall on your right hand side. Eventually at the bottom here, you go through a small stream or river, follow the wall all the way up and you come to a stile, cross the stile, and then the next wall, keep it to your left and head up to higher White Tor. But today it's been dry weather, so I'm continuing this way because I want to see the burial. Like I say, the only reason I would walk outside is if, oh, horseflies, is if the weather's been quite bad, because it can get boggy later on this side. We're coming up now to the burial. Look at this. And by the way, if you do walk outside, you can still see the burial. Just every so often look over the wall and you'll see it. But look at this. Wow. Just think, somebody was buried here over 4,000 years ago. And it's literally in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing for miles around. I wonder who it was. You guys watching me? Wow, just gotta love Dartmoor. What an incredible place. After the burial, continue keeping the wall to your left. We're going to head down now to a river crossing, a small stile and a small river to cross. And I'm sorry to say it's up the other side. A bit of a hike uphill, but get to the Tor, have a break, or Longaford Tor for a break, or if it's windy, the Dartmoor Gunpowder Mills for some shelter. We'll find out when we get there. Forgot to mention, when you get to the bottom here, you'll come to a small wall. Just follow the wall to your right, and the stile is just a bit further along. It's a bit wobbly, be careful on this one. You've got a small stream or river to cross here, but it's a lot of places to slip across quite easy. If earlier you went through the gate to avoid the boggy area, because of bad weather, you'd be keeping the wall to your right all the way, and eventually you'll come to this stile, and then you're back on track with the route I've taken today, as it's been dry weather. Hey guys, don't worry, I'm just passing by. Nothing like a nice little uphill, get the heart rate pumping. We've now reached higher White Tor, and this, by the way, is a great spot for a wild camp. Although the official wild camping map, you're not permitted to camp on that side of the wall, but you can camp on this side, and this is where I normally camp, just here. It's a great spot fantastic views of an evening, climbing the stile, sit on top of the Tor and watch the sunset. Perfect. But anyway, back to today's walk. We're now climbing this stile to 𝐅𝐻𝐿 Tor. Have a quick look up there before we carry on. From the stile, keep the Tor to your left, and then just past the Tor, you'll come to 2 tracks. So one track's heading off that direction, and one track's heading this direction. This is one we want, heading towards Longaford Tor in the southwest direction. Leaving 𝐅𝐻𝐿 Tor behind us, and now heading to Longaford Tor for some lunch. Best part of the day. When I reach Longaford Tor, I always have to go to the top. It is so worth it for the views. Take a photograph or 10. Have some lunch if it's not too windy. But honestly, it's so worth it. And it's not difficult to walk up it or climb up it. Go to the southern side of the Tor. It's a lot easier to get up to the top. And now it's time to tuck in, out of the wind for some lunch with amazing views. When you leave Longaford Tor and get to the bottom, we're going to bear off to the left, a southeast direction, downhill. As long as you're heading downhill, you go in the right direction, because eventually you'll reach a stone wall. Once you reach that stone wall, you want to turn right, keeping the wall to your left. We've reached a stone wall, so keep following the wall to your right until you get to a gap. Here we are, the gap, or the gate, with no gate, just gate post. Anyway, through this gate, and ahead of you, you'll see a line of trees going across. The Gunpowder Mills is just there, but we're not going to hit the Gunpowder Mills just yet. Head towards the left of that tree line, and then follow it along to the houses. If it's a misty day and you can't see that, follow your compass in an east direction. Look at Longaford Tor behind me. It just looks amazing, doesn't it? It's like its own mini mountain. One thing I should say as well is if you walk in Dartmoor or any moorland, and especially if you're wearing shorts like I am today, is to constantly check yourself for ticks. I've only ever had 2 tick bites or 2 ticks in my whole life, but I still consciously check myself over all the time when I'm walking through long grass especially. So yeah, definitely give yourself a check every so often. Once you reach the end of the tree line to the left and the stone wall, there is a path which we're going to take now to the right. And obviously you'll see the buildings from the powder mills. Don't worry, we're coming back to that in a minute. We're not going to miss it. So yeah, take the right path, following the tree line to the very end. Do you know, it's quite funny actually. You'll hear me say the word path quite often when it's actually a track or sometimes a lane or a road, and it just seems to be a habit that I can't get out of. And now I've mentioned it, you'll probably notice it even more. Once you pass the end of the tree line, some buildings, you'll come to a gate which leads to a path. On the path, we're going to turn to the right. Follow the path, and just before it bends to the left, if you look to your right, hidden away, you'll see a cannon, a proving mortar. This would fire a 68-pound shot, and depending on how far it landed would determine the strength of the gunpowder. It's a cracking piece of kit, absolute cracking. From the proving mortar back to the path, we turn left now to the gunpowder mills. But first of all, I'm going to show you where to park if you wanted to do the shorter 2-mile walk this way. If you want to visit the gunpowder mills with just a short 2-mile walk, then the ideal parking is just here. There's a small lay-by which can hold about 3 or 4 cars just before the entrance into the mills. I've parked here dozens of times over the years. I've never ever not got a space. Once you've parked up, just head left. It's a very short walk to the gate towards the gunpowder mills. Cross over the cattle grid and follow the road. Following the road, as it bends to the right, don't forget to turn left and check out the proving mortar just hidden in there. Stopped by for a perfect cream tea at the Powder Mills Pottery, and now to decide, cream or jam first. Let's start a debate. Oh, that was perfect. Mid-walk, absolutely perfect. So we're now passing, on this road still, passing the cottages of where the manager and the foreman of the gunpowder mills would have lived and worked. When you reach the gate, we're going straight through the gate. Following the path around, so I'm saying 2 miles, it's probably less than 2 miles, but then by the time you walk around the powder mills, it probably is a 2-mile walk if you walk the shorter walk. As you approach the old buildings, if you look up to your left, you'll see the remains of the checking house where they checked workers prior to starting work to make sure they were wearing suitable clothing, nothing that would cause sparks, ignite the gunpowder. The gunpowder mills, or black powder as it was known back then, started production in 1846 and it ended in 1897 due to the invention of dynamite. The walls of the buildings were really thick, and yet the roofs were made of a thin wood and tar, so if there was an explosion it would blow upwards rather than outwards. And the workers would use tools made of wood and copper so they wouldn't spark and ignite any of the gunpowder. The gunpowder mills were powered by water. Each of the 3 main mills had huge water wheels, and the water would then flow from this mill down to the next one, and then down to the third one, and eventually the water would then be filtered back into the Cherrybrook River across the bottom here. The whole project cost just £12,000, which obviously back then would have been a lot of money. Another interesting fact, during World War II, there were 3,000 American troops here used as a training camp just prior to the D-Day landings. I love this place, but I've spent enough time here now. So from the building at the highest point of the gunpowder mills at the top, you'll look to the east, you'll see Bellever Forest, and there's a gate just here, so that's where we're heading to next. So we're through the gate, and then we're going to bear off to the left. So it's not the immediate left, it actually goes straight ahead, and then it bears around to the left. Now we're actually heading to the east, which is way over towards the forest. We cross the road into the forest, but the path or the track won't let us go straight on, and then it bends at the last minute across to the forest. There is quite often cows in this field, but there's plenty of room to give them a wide berth. They're not interested in you, so they're no problem at all. Absolutely no problem. So as you're hiking along here, you should notice to your right there, the path. That's the path which takes us to the road, across the road, and then through Bellever Forest. I'm looking forward to that today actually, because it's a bit of shade, because it's quite warm and muggy today. By the way, I will be showing you the route I've taken at the end of the video, and there's also a GPX file you can download in the description below to follow yourself. When you reach the gate, we're going to cross the road into Bellever Forest. Follow this track now for quite a while. You'll come to 2 of these crossroads with one path crossing the other. Just continue on both. It's been such a lovely quiet walk all day. I've seen 2 people and that's it. But now we've entered Bellever Forest. In a minute it will get busy. As you're walking this path, if you look ahead there to the trees, just above the trees on the other side you can see the top of Walk Tor. If you've got time, hike up there. It's a lovely little tour, easy to walk up to as well. I always find this a very eerie kind of place. All the trees all cut down. It's like apocalypse. Is that the word? Apocalypse. Don't think it doesn't sound right. But anyway, you know what I mean. When you get to the end of this path, we're going to take a left. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, we're actually following part of the 𝐂𝐻𝐿. It was a medieval funeral route, also known as the Way of the Dead. It's where they carried dead bodies to be buried at the parish church in Lidford. In fact, I think one day soon I'll do a video on the 𝐂𝐻𝐿. That'll be an interesting video, that will be. This is the second of the 2 crossroads and once again go straight ahead. Following that path, eventually you'll come out into the open. We're going to take a left. You'll see a left path just past the opening here. There is a left track you can follow. This will take us past a few burials as well. Walking up here, if you look behind you, you'll see Bellever Tor. It's a lovely tor to hike up. In fact, if you look to your left as well now, you'll see two tors, White Tor and Longaford Tor. We've just hiked both of those tors. Walking this track, you'll come across the first of these burial cairns. A little cairn circle around it as well. Always amazing to see. There's another one just further up as well. Cairn circle. After those burials, continue along the track for a short distance until you reach this stone row. It's a beautiful little stone row. And once you've finished admiring it, take a right and head towards the forest. You might notice it's extra sunny today, all of a sudden. Well, to be honest, I forgot to record the stone row on my previous video footage. So I've come back today before another walk to get that in. Following that track now into the forest, and you're in for a real treat, because inside here, just ahead of you, is 𝐂𝐻𝐿𝐶, a fantastic burial chamber with a cairn circle around it and a small stone row heading off to the east. Look at this. Wow. When I see Dartmoor's history like this, oh, it really, really makes my day. It just makes me smile. Wow. Once you manage to drag yourself away, continue down following the track through the forest. Following this track, after the 𝐂𝐻𝐿𝐶, you'll come to this path. And yes, this time it is a path, not a track. So here, turn left and follow all the way back towards the main road. And it's a nice downhill finish all the way back. And once you reach the main road, just cross over. The car park is right in front of you. The route starts from the Postbridge Visitor Centre car park and then heads northwest for about half a mile before following the ridge westward past 𝐅𝐻𝐿𝐶 Tor to Longaford Tor. From there it descends southeast towards the Gunpowder Mills, then continues east through Bellever Forest passing 𝐂𝐻𝐿𝐶 before looping back to Postbridge. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. As always, I've enjoyed filming it. And if you do ever follow the route, please let me know what you think. Or if you've done it already, again, let me know what you think of the route. I love it, it's a great route. Anyway, Thank you very much for watching. Whatever you're doing, have a great day. Until next time, stay safe.